Don't tell anyone, but I've basically been off the bike for 45 days. So today I want to start picking up the pieces, and I'll be doing so through Zwift Academy. Every year Zwift hosts a competition between the most talented Zwifters, with as the ultimate prize a pro contract. That competition is called Zwift Academy. But actually, Zwift Academy is not just for professional cyclists like myself. Everyone who has Zwift can sign up for a 6-week training program, 6 workouts, and each of them represents one specific important ability for a pro cyclist. Now, I'll be doing that 6-week training program in 3 weeks, because on October 29th, I need to be ready to race the Virtu Slow for Endurance Zwift League. But more about that later. To start off, I want to perform a benchmark test to see my current level at the start of these 3 weeks. My terrain of choice for that test is the Volcano KICKR climb on Zwift. 3.8 kilometers, 3.2%, nothing too crazy, but it should do the job. All the way back in February, I rode this climb at 12 minutes and 41 seconds, so I hope to still be at that level. Anyway, let's see how many watts I've lost. 3, 2, 1, let's go. We're about halfway. Minutes and 1 second. I'll be honest, I was hoping for quite a bit better, because 229 watts for 13 minutes, I've done way better than that a few months ago. Anyway, now it's on me to let these watts grow back, and we'll be doing that with the hard training I've got planned over the next 3 weeks. But what will that training look like? My aim is to ride 6 days per week, with 1 rest day. Of those 6 rides, 2 will be Zwift Academy workout sessions, while the other 4 will be a combination of Zone 2 and recovery rides. And at the end of the 3 weeks, I climbed Volcano KICKR once again to see how much I've improved. I received early access to be able to ride these Zwift Academy 2023 workouts. They will be available to everyone on November 6th. Before we start our workouts, I have to unfortunately drop my FTP on Zwift back down to 210, because that's roughly the estimation of FTP I currently have. This is important so that the power zones in my workouts are set correctly. Anyway, let's get started. So on day 1 I started with a generic Zone 2 ride, roughly 1 hour. And on day 2 I planned to do exactly the same, but I started feeling a bit unwell after 45 minutes, so I ended my training early. These Zone 2 rides were actually already not comfortable. Anyway, this afternoon I'm starting the actual first Zwift Academy workout, and I'm already terrified. The workout is called Explosive 30 Seconds, and the focus lies on short explosive efforts, combining 30-second sprints with 2-minute efforts. With each of these Zwift Academy workouts, I can choose between a short version and a long version. Today I want to start off by trying the long version. You never know, maybe I can do it. Anyway, let's hope I survive. This workout started with a solid 20-minute warm-up, a gradual build-up from 125 to 190 watts across 7 minutes, just below my FTP. And after a bit of Zone 2, 3 times 30 seconds in Zone 6. Anyway, that did mark the end of the warm-up. I now had 5 minutes to prepare in Zone 2 before I had to do a 30-second all-out effort. Jesus Christ! Fast sprint finished, 3 minutes of rest, and then comes the next sprint. Being only 30 minutes into this workout, having gone all out twice already, and seeing 49 minutes left on the clock, that was mentally painful. But fortunately, I had 10 minutes of Zone 1 and Zone 2 before the next block arrived. 2 minutes as hard as I can. And right there you can see the silliest bike show in cycling history. I need a replay of that. And after 6 minutes, I had to do the 2-minute effort once again, but now it was all about survival for me. And our last block was 20 minutes at 150 watts. I won't lie, I started this block and I had already mentally accepted that I might not be able to finish it. And 6 minutes later, that's exactly what happened. Damn it. Honestly, I'm not sure what to think about today's workout. I'm happy I tried the long one because I'd rather try the long one and fail than not try the long one at all and not know if I could have done the long one in the first place. On the other side, I know that I could have physically finished those 20 minutes at 150 watts if I really tried, but mentally I gave up. Tomorrow I plan to have a proper rest day the day after a Zone 2 ride before we get back to a proper Zwift Academy workout. So that's exactly what I did. The next Zwift Academy workout is called Fatigue Fighter. Basically an 8-minute aerobic effort after a high level of fatigue. This time I went for the short version. After a warm-up we got into the action with 2 minutes at 190 watts, then 2 minutes at 200 watts, then 2 minutes at 225 watts. At this point I was suffering. And after 3 minutes of recovery, 2 times 3 minutes at threshold. The first time was painful, and the second one hurt even more, but I survived. Last block incoming, basically an 8-minute FTP test, which I so don't feel ready for. At the start of this effort I looked like this, but 7 minutes later I looked like this. There's the finish, finally. Workout completed. There we go. I'm dead. But the day after I was back to finish off week 1 with a Zone 2 ride. For many people, riding just over 5 hours in a week is probably nothing, but for me this was my 3rd most active week of the entire year. However, I did feel pretty miserable in some of these rides, even in the Zone 2 rides. On days like that, I try to motivate myself by thinking about my short-term goals. For me, my next short-term goal is the Virtuslow for Endurance Zwift League, and if you want, you can race against me. This tournament includes 6 races across 6 weeks, and it starts on October 29th, with races every Sunday at 6 PM CET. But they won't be easy. This will be a serious challenge for me because the races are between 42 and 58 kilometers long, which is a lot more than I usually race. It will test me both physically and mentally, but I can't wait to give it a try. If you want to race the Virtuslow for Endurance Zwift League just like me, then check out the link in the description and sign up. Anyway, let's take a look at week 2 of my training. In my next Zone 2 ride, I felt like trying something new. I've been doing these Z2 rides in erg mode the entire time, and I do wonder what it's like not doing it in erg mode. So let me try to turn that off. I was always scared I wouldn't be able to hold the actual watts without erg mode, as in steady 135, but I'm doing pretty well in the range around 135 at the moment. The Zone 2 rides in week 2 are going so much better than week 1. I've been riding above 135 for a while now, and to be honest, I'm feeling really good today. But then workout 3 arrived, the finisher. Building up fatigue to then test your sprint and 2-minute efforts. Because I don't have the endurance base yet, I chose a short version. So the warm-up is done. Next part is gonna be getting some fatigue in the legs. I started building up fatigue through 2 times 4 minutes at threshold. At the end of that, I was already sweating like a cow. Nice. Now rest up before we get to the sprints. After the sprints were done, 2 times 2 minutes all out. But during those, I was just trying to survive. I am completely done for. I did not expect today to be this difficult. During the next 2 days, I had recovery rides to make sure I was ready for workout 4. That workout is called Fast Twitch High Intensity Interval Training, with a focus on continuously being able to adapt to pace changes. The long version looked doable to me, so I gave it a try. I decided to up my Zwift FTP from 210 to 215 before this workout. After a short warm-up, we got down to the real business. 10 reps of 30 seconds at 285 watts. Whew. It's gonna be a rough one. Throughout the first rep, I was still feeling good. 4 reps later, it was already a bit harder. But by rep 9, I was begging for it to end. Last one. Here we go. Okay, 10 minutes to recover. The best thing about this workout for me is that each block is short, so it's easier to motivate myself while I'm suffering to reach the end of the block. Next up, 8 times 40 seconds at 265 watts, so not sure if that's easier or harder than the last one. Once again, the first rep was pretty okay. Rep 4 was harder, but still pretty fine. Now, the final one. Ah, 10 minutes relax. On to the final segment. 4 times 1 minute at 245 watts. I can do this, eh? Once again, full control in the first rep, but I was already suffering a lot more in the next one. Oh, legs are starting to hurt. But then the last rep somehow went better. Nice. I'm getting better. Day by day, I'm making a step forward. and I can feel it. And that wrapped up workout 4. This week was fairly similar when it comes to training volume to week 1, but every ride felt a lot easier. The fact that I was able to up my Zwift FTP not only gave me the feeling that I had progressed, but also the actual data proving it. For me, that's the best kind of motivation. Anyway, there is 1 week left, let's see how it goes. You might have noticed on my training program, in week 3 I took an extra rest day because I wanted to make sure I didn't arrive with too much fatigue into the final tests. Anyway, workout 5 is called the steady state. I decided to do the long one, so basically 2 times 30 minutes just under FTP. So the warm-up for this workout was pretty straightforward, but the next part is gonna be pretty tough. 30 minutes at 195 watts. It's gonna be a mental challenge. Just like every workout, this one started easy, but that didn't last long. You might have noticed in these workouts, my biggest weakness is my base endurance, and in this workout, it is really hurting me. But eventually, I finished this block. Oh, fuck. 5 minutes to recover. Whew. Next up, once again, 30 minutes, but without erg mode this time. So let's see how we do. 10 minutes left. I gotta be honest, these workouts are the hardest for me. The ones with long blocks, where I have to motivate myself for more than 25 plus minutes. And towards the end of this block, I was perishing. The last 2 meters of this workout, that was a really difficult one, but hey, we survived the longest workout I've done throughout this program. That's awesome. The next day followed a recovery ride before the final workout. All-out burn, building up fatigue before a 5-minute all-out test. For this one I will go for the short one because I do want to give my all to get that best 5-minute effort at the end. So after the warm-up, it was time to start building fatigue, ramping up from 195 to 215 to 235 watts. Then 4 minutes at 195, 3 minutes at 215, and 2 times 2 minutes at 245. And lo and behold, I felt fatigued. Next up, the 5-minute test. My plan was to pace around 300 watts, but by the halfway point, it was all about survival. And in the final stretch, I gave it everything I had. Here it is, the finish line of my Zwift Academy, and it's done. Hello, my friend. I finished Zwift Academy, my friend. Be proud. The next day was my final recovery ride. And there we go, my final week of training was complete. I actually really enjoyed combining the Z2 rides with the Zwift Academy workouts throughout the week. But going from 0 days a week to 6 out of 7 probably is not the most advisable thing to do. Now, I received early access to Ride Zwift Academy 2023 in this video, but you can do so pretty soon as well. The registration for Zwift Academy 2023 starts on October 30th, and the 6-week period starts on November 6th. That's when you'll be able to ride through the workouts that I just did. If you want to learn more about Zwift Academy, check out the link in the description, and who knows, maybe one of you ends up winning the pro contract. Anyway, there is one thing left to do in this video. We've done the 3 weeks of training, we did the benchmark test at the start, we need to ride up Volcano KOM once again to see how much I've improved. 3, 2, 1, let's go. I am so dead. 11:53 seconds. That's 1 minute and 8 seconds faster than last time. I'm so proud of that. Yes! I did not expect 3 weeks of training to have this much of an influence. So I'll be honest, that was a lot more progress than I expected to make in 3 weeks. But the key now is for me to keep up my training, maybe not 6 days out of 7, but 5 or 4 days out of 7. Because now I want to keep training to reach some major goals in 2024. So that's the end of today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.